I think it's important to note that once the Senate had taken their action in February of this session, the Speaker turned to me and to my committee and said, well, if this is going to be, then we need to make darn sure that Vermonters are not left holding the bill if this plant, and now it looks like this plant under current law, will close in March of 2012. So he asked us to do the responsible thing. Not an easy thing to do after 2 years in a row, both the House and the Senate had passed previous decommissioning bills that were vetoed by the previous governor. So we set about doing the work where it was very, very important that the entire committee united behind what we were doing to go forward so that Vermonters would be protected against having to pay anything for the cleanup of this site. And that was first and foremost in our minds. And I have to personally really thank the Vice Chair, Representative Krasik, and absolutely the entire membership of the House Natural Resources and Energy Committee. It was truly a tripartisan effort that, although it may have looked to the outside world that it was smooth going all the time, but we had our peaks and valleys going forward. So basically what the bill does, actually I'm going to let Vice Chair Krasik talk about what the bill does, so thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Let me back up a little bit. Tony talked about this bill beginning right from this year. Actually, he called me up in August and said, listen, we've had 2 decommissioning bills vetoed. We need to come up with one to protect Vermont taxpayers and ratepayers if we feel pretty strongly that will get passed and signed into law. And I believe that's the bill here that we saw today. And that was our goal. Our goal was to take the facts. The facts that we know them right now is the license of NRC expires at midnight on the 21st of March, 2012. We also looked at the fact that in February the Senate took a vote which passed 26-4, not supporting the continued operation. So that was something else we needed to consider. And we never lost focus on that. We stayed right on that. And the overall goal was to make sure that when Vermont Yankee is decommissioned beginning in 2012, that there will be no expense to the ratepayers and taxpayers of the state of Vermont. And that was very important. We've already heard that this is a tripartisan bill, and it was. I said on the floor that we received many hours of testimony from about 28 people. And we had considerable debate, and some of the people here might remember the one we had in the cafeteria about 8 o'clock 2 weeks ago. And that was pretty heated. But that's what made this a good bill. And we debated it in the committee room, we debated it out. Tony said that there were times when we had some issues to resolve, and one of them was 2 weeks ago Friday when the chairman and I did not agree. We went out and agreed not to try to push it. It was on a Friday, to go home for the weekend, look at it, come back Tuesday, and figure out how we can make it work, and that's exactly what we did. So the 139-0 vote we got today was not an individual vote by a reporter. It was a committee vote because of all the work that we put into this. I've been on the committee now for 8 years. I've been on some very important bills like the commit reform, the energy bill, but in my opinion, this was the most important bill that I've had to do in my 8 years up here. So, pretty proud of it. If we get it through the other body and get it to the governor's desk, I think the governor this time, I'm hoping the governor this time will support this bill and go into law.
Any questions?
Tony?